Hello guys, in this video I'm going to talk about Myschool, the offline school management system. This management system works entirely offline and it can help you generate report cards for your school and manage other activities. So I'm going to take you through how it works and how you can come up with a good looking report cards. Let's go. So I'm going to open it. If you want to get Myschool to your computer, please check in this video's description. There is a link that you will use to download. First of all, I'm going to show you how it works, and after downloading it you'll need to create account. So for me, I'm not going to create account since it's already created. So if you've already got account, this is what you will see here. You will find your school name and login and recover phone number. So in this login, we can log in as a teacher and we can log in as administrator. So I'm going to log in as administrator and later I will show you how to log in as a teacher. So I'll use the phone number that I used to create the account. Then I'm going to log in. Remember, this is entirely offline, no internet is required. So now I can see my school, fees collection, uncollected fees, teachers and active students. So now what I should do first, I'm going to put students in my system. And now so after putting students, I'm going to take you through all the features. So how do I put in students? How do I add students? I'm going to come on this sidebar. This is the sidebar I'm talking about. So now this is our sidebar, this one. So I'm going to, everything I need will be found on this bar. So let's go and add some students. So I'm going to click on students, then I click on view and add. So when I click there, it will open this page. Then I'll click add student. So I'm going to add my first student as Kaziwe, and then last name I'm going to add Patrick. Good. So after that, gender male, I select everything. Let him be in senior 1. If I have photo, let me choose 1. If I don't have, I may ignore that option. But if I have 1, I may choose that. Let me get this right here. So parent contact, if I have it, I can choose it. If I support streams, I can put it, but I don't. I will show you how to put streams that they can show here. House, no house found since I have not added any house. So let me save student. Good. Now Kaziwe Patrick has been saved in the system. Now we're going to deal with Kaziwe Patrick and I show you how the system works. If I want to edit Kaziwe Patrick's information, I click on students, view and add right here where we are. I click on the name. I can remove the photo. I can view payment history, how he has been paying. I can see after clicking on update, I can change almost every information about him. Index number, runner's identification, class, and everything about him I can change. Good. Now we've added our first student, and now let's see how to deal with our system. Now if I go back to dashboard, here if I click on dashboard and I go back, I'll see that now active students, we are having 1 student. Good. Now what else can we, is there any other method I can use to add students? Yes. When I click on students, I click on export students, Excel, this option. So if I use export students in Excel and I click there, an Excel file will be generated labeled bulk students. Let me save it on my desktop. And then if I go back to desktop, I'll find that Excel file. So let me open it and show you another way of putting in students. And I believe this is a little bit faster than the other one. So if I open this Excel file, unfortunately it is opening in, all right. So if I open this Excel file, let me show you how we can put in students. I'm going to enable editing. Now I'll find in they already entered the students. So for me, I'll continue. Let me put Chimera Jordan. Chimera Jordan. Gender, I'll click and select from the list male, section, boarding, class senior 2. That's all I know about him. I don't know parent contacts. I don't know. That's all I know. So I'll save, Control S. Now it's time to submit back that data into our system. So I'll open it and say import students. So when I click on import, it will ask me to choose file, and then I'm going to select that bulk students file I have just filled in with data. So it will show me extracting, and now it has extracted, and I think now Chimera Jordan is live in our system. Because if you check here on active students, now there are 2. Let's check there in students and see. So view and add. Yes, wow, we are having Chimera Jordan. Good, so that's another way of entering those students. Now let's go and see what else we can do. Now what I'm going to show you, let's go back to dashboard. I'm going to talk about here where there is a profile icon. So if I click on that profile icon, I can see 2 options, settings and logout. So logout, that's when you have done everything and you want to quit the system. That's when you click there. So I'm going to click on settings. Now if I click on settings, I can see I can update information, the school name, the email, the badge, the teachers, and so on. So the font style, I may change the font style through which the system is working. So for me, I normally use that Playwright GBS. I click on update and the font style will be changed into which my system works. So that is the font style now I'm currently using. Now that is, yeah, I can set, I can log out. Now what is backup data button? What does it do? This information I have entered in the system, the information about my students and everything, as we are going to see, my computer may get a problem. So if I don't want to lose everything, I need to backup data. So if I click on that button, it will show me this information, and then I click on generate backup. So after generating backup, a folder will automatically create itself on desktop. It will be called Myschool Backups, and in this folder I will find the database for my data, and I can share this database, or I can back it up on any storage device, or I can upload it on official website of my school. So I have backed up my data now. So it is advisable at least to back up data once a month. Good. Now let's continue. After entering the students, as we have seen, here is import. If I want to get them from Excel, promotion, this works if I want to change them from one class to another. So I simply click on promote and promote them. So if I promote, good. So now I think they have been promoted. If I go back to those students, view or add, the one who has been in senior 1 now is in senior 2. The one who has been in senior 2 now is in senior 3. Good. So now let's proceed. Another thing you need to know about, let's go to score entry. This is also very, very important. Actually, this is the very important part of the system. When I go to score entry here, I can see options O level and A level. O level, I can see AOI, which stands for activities of integration, EOT, which stands for end of term. Activities of integration, this is a program in Uganda's school education system. Learners are given activities of integration for each and every after topic. So those scores that learners get at every end of topic can be kept here. End of term means a learner has completed or has sat end of term exam. So the scores are entered from here. So we are going to first enter activities of integration, then we see what's next. Let's click on activity of integration. When I click on activity of integration, it will ask me to choose the subject and the class I want to enter for. So I'm going to choose biology, then I choose senior 2. Let's proceed. Good. So in senior 2, we are having only one student, that is Caswell Patrick. So we need to enter activities for Caswell Patrick. Remember, we are entering for term 3, 2024. So we shall see how to change this term to your own. Now, this A1 stands for activity 1, activity 2, activity 3, and so on. So I'm going to enter activity 1. So let's suppose Patrick scored 2.1. In Uganda system, the maximum mark is 3. So students score from 0.9 to 3. So let's assume Patrick scored 2.1. Now this is what to pay attention to. After typing in this score, what I can see here, I can see a pink background and it has now become white. What does it mean? When the background is pink, it means the score is not yet saved. It is being saved. So, and when it becomes white, it shows that it is successfully saved. Let's try this. When I'm typing, you will see background becoming pink. When it's like that, it means the score is not yet saved. So it is saved when background gets white. To make it white, I can click anywhere in the space just to give a chance to that score to be saved. Now it is saved. Alright, so let's type in a little bit faster. I can type 2.1, then I use it is now saved. I can use navigation keys of keyboard to move within these cells so that I can type wherever I want. If I want to change the score, I can simply come and change it, and then I click in another cell or I leave that cell to save it. Now if I enter a score and the background becomes red, it is showing that invalid score, and that score will not be saved, so that 4 will not be saved. Good. So now let's leave 2.4. Now let's go. We may click on change subject. We choose another subject and class, and then we proceed. We may use bulk add. This is when we use Excel. Then what we need to do, we first download that Excel file, and then we fill it, and then we upload it here. Let's test it. I'm going to click on save Excel senior to biology. I save it on my desktop. So when I go on my desktop, I will find that Excel. Now when I open it, I will find, let's open it. Yes, I will find in senior to biology students with the scores. Now let's put activity 2 for Patrick as 1.9, activity 3 as 2.3, and then we save that. Control S. Now let me go back into my school, and I choose that file, which is senior to biology. I add scores. Good. Now you can see scores have been added successfully right from our Excel file. That's another way of adding scores using Excel. Now let's try and test the EOT, end of term. So if I click on EOT, it will still ask me for subject and class. So I'll use biology senior to still, and here I'll proceed. It will give me score. EOT has got only one score. Then I enter, let's say Patrick scored 67. Pink background, remember we said it is showing that it is being saved, and then white background means it is saved successfully. Now Patrick has got scores for biology. Let's proceed. If Patrick was in A level, I would have used these options, but now I have used the 2 options since he's in O level. Fees management, what does this mean? Let's go there. Fees management, this is when I want to use the system to capture fees. Let's see each and every option here. Fees collection, this one will show me the amount I have collected, the list of fees collections. Now capture fees, this is when I'm going to set, for example, if these people have brought fees at school, then if I click on capture fees, I can set in how much they have brought, and then everything will be automated. Now what we need to do first, when we want to deal with fees management, we need to first click on fees settings, such that we set the fees for each class. So I'm going to set senior to day, let them pay 200,000, just like that. Now if I click on update, all senior 2 students will be assigned to that amount. If you see Kazwe Patrick now is assigned to pay a Bob amount of 200. However, he has paid 0. Now if we go back here on dashboard, let's go back on dashboard and see what we are having. On dashboard, we are having uncollected fees of 200. It means we are demanding one student who is Patrick. Why do we demand that student that amount? Because we have set the amount for that student which he has not paid. Let's go back to fees collection and we capture that fees for Patrick. If I click on capture fees, it will bring those students. Now Chimera is not having any payable amount, so we should not capture fees for that. Now let's capture for Patrick. Amount he has brought 150. Good. Reason it is fees. Yes. Now let's record. So after recording, you see now payable amount for Patrick is 200. He has paid 150 and now balance is 50. Good. Now let's click on the name and see view payments. When we click on view payments, this is how Patrick has been paying. So he has paid, this is the amount he's supposed to pay. If you can see here, this is the amount he has paid. This is the balance. Now this is the payment in details. So if I want to get the receipt for that amount, I click on the date. So this is the receipt now for Patrick. Good. So we can download this receipt as PDF and we print it. So this is the receipt. Let me save it on my desktop, and now let's see it right as a PDF. Good. This is the one. So this is the PDF of our receipt. We may print it or we may deal it with it in any way. Good. Now let's go back into our system. We may delete the entry in case you have entered wrong information. You may delete it, and if you delete it, the balance will update automatically. Let's go back to dashboard and I show you something. Now you can see that uncollected fees is 50. Means we have collected 150 and the fees we have not collected so far from all students is 50. Good, that is fees management. Now let's go to active term. Now if you can see, I have captured the fees, I have done everything. Now what if we change term and we go into term 1 of 2025? I can click on active term, I change term 1 2025. After changing term, good, let's go and see. It will show me that fees collected is 0 and uncollected fees is 0. So I have nothing collected for this term. Now if I want to go back to previous term, if we check in score entry, we shall find that now they are at 0. Report cards, we shall find that there are no scores. But if a student comes back and says, I want to check my balance for last term, I just change that term back, third term 2024, and then I set it as active, and it will show me everything that I had in the system at that period of time. Good. So now let's go to teachers. Here I have to add my teachers. Let me click on add teacher. I'm going to add a first name as Nalule Joan. Good. So she's female, teaching biology and teaching chemistry. Contact 0705393098. Let me add the teacher, and then now you can see I've got a teacher Joan with this ID. This ID is very important, as we are going to see. If I want to edit teacher's information, I click on the name and change it. Now I can see I can deny teacher access such that teacher cannot log in into our system. If I want to deny her access, I just switch on this. If I switch it off, she can access the system, as we are going to see. Action, I can delete. Good. Now let's go. We are going to see the importance of this teacher ID after finishing all options on this menu. Let's go to classes. If I click on classes here, I can see senior 1, senior 2, and so on. Number of students will be shown here. Class teacher will be shown here. If there is any other class I want to add, I will click on add class. I add it, and with it stream. So this is when streams come into play. So say I'm having senior 1A, I will add in senior 1 stream. I add A. Good. So that's when streams come into play. If I want to use them, I can see now I'm having senior 1A and senior 1. So if I have senior 1B, I can add it there. But remember, if I delete the class, all students in it will be deleted. So before deleting any class, first make sure that you back up data, as we have seen before on the dashboard. Now subjects, this is also very important. I'm having these subjects and level. Are they for both level O and A, or they are for only A level? And so you set each subject for each level. Then delete option, this will work only for optional subjects. You can only delete optional subject. Compulsory subjects cannot be deleted from the system. Good. Now let's see for biology, as we have been testing. Biology is compulsory, but however, if I want to delete it, I can click on it and turn it into optional. So if I turn it into optional, I can delete it. Yes, you can see now biology is optional, therefore can be deleted. If I want to change the name of the subject, I click on it, then I click on name and change the level. I can change. Now if I want to view scores, I click on view scores, I select the class, the stream, and then if I don't have stream, I just proceed. So now I'm going to click on the class near to, I say view activities. These are the activities we entered for Patrick, and I can export them as Word, Microsoft Word, or I can print them directly. Good. Now that is if I don't have a subject here and I want to add it, I click on add a subject, then I enter its information and add it. Let's go to report cards. This is the important part of this system. And then I click on report cards. It will ask me which level, O or A level. I choose O level. And then it will give me the names of students in the O level. Now it's showing me that O level reports active report card version 1.0. So we are having almost 4 versions of report cards, as we are going to see under report card settings. So now let's see what does report card mean here. So I can see the name, I can see the ID number of the student, class, subjects with scores. Subjects with scores, what does this mean? The number of scores entered for a certain student. For example, Patrick has got 1 score entered. Remember, we entered biology. That's what we are seeing now. 1 entered. Is it saved? Means is report card saved on our computer or not yet? Because remember, if we want to print it, we need to first save it. Then here we can see this option. Here we can change the view. We can change the count of these subjects. If I click there and I choose EOT, now the count here, the one entered is for activities of integration. I may want to see end of term count. I change from AOI to EOT. It will show me that 1 for Patrick has been entered for end of term and is 0 for Chimera Jordan. Now let's click on Patrick's name to see the report card. This is the report card. It's showing that biology 16, it has got the activities of integration and made it 20%, end of term as 80%, total data and scaled it down to 3, and then it has given grade and even teachers initial. Now this is the report card. If I want to get it, I can click on PDF and it is going to be downloaded on my computer as PDF. Let me save it on desktop just to show it to you. Let me go back to my desktop and show you how this report card looks. This is the one. Yeah. Now when I open it on my desktop, this is what I have. Wow. Wonderful. Wonderful. Nice. So I can print it out. Good. Now let's go back and see report card settings. We can set everything. We can customize everything from this grading system to these colors. Now if I go back to my report card, I don't want this blue color. I simply right click and set my own color. Wow. You see, I double click and set my own color. So if you don't want those colors, you can set your own. Good. Now let's go back. Let's click back. And we go back to report card settings. This is very important because it will help you set that report card to your own way or styling. Now if you look at our report card, next term begin is on, the date is not there, so we need to put it under report card settings. So I click on next term date. I set it on 24th February 25. So if I update, that date will automatically be added to our report card. Remember, I have edited the colors on my report. If I want those colors to go back to the default colors, then I will click on reset colors option. So let's proceed. Active report card version. Let's dive and see all the report card versions we are having. So we have seen report card version 1, which contains 20% and 80%. We may change to report card 2, report card version 2. And if we do that, we shall get this. This version shows only activities of integration. So suppose we have not written end of term, we want to show only activities of integration on report card, we shall use report card version 2. And we are shown that it shows 5 activities, but we can set them to 1, 2, or 3. Let's go and see that report card. If I click on report cards, go back to O-level, then I use Patrick report cards. You can see activity 1, activity 2, activity 3, activity 4, activity 5. Now I may want to show only 3 activities. This car is not good. Let me choose. I may want to show only 3 activities. I ignore 5 and 4. So what should I do? Let me go back. Now if you can see, we set the end of term. Now next term begin, it is showing here. Let's go back and set the activities to be 3. Let me go back to report card settings. Under version, I will say click here to ask me how many columns do you want to show. I say 3. Now on our report card, if I check there, it's showing that my report card is showing 3 term activities. Let's go back and see how it looks. As well, Patrick. Yes, now activity 1, activity 2, activity 3. That is report card version 2. Okay, let's test report card version 3. How does this work? Report card version 3. Let's see. If we choose this, it's showing that this version shows only end of term as 100%. This report card version shows only end of term. It does not show activities of integration. If we test Patrick, now this is what he has scored in biology. End of term only. So that end of term can be scaled to 2.22 or scale of 3. But activities of integrations are not showing. Good. Let's go back and test report card version 4. If we test report card version 4, the last one, this version shows both activities and end of term, but activity scores are generated from end of term scores. So suppose we have written only end of term and we want that end of term to be divided into activity and end. So that's the report card version 4 we shall use. So it will get end of term score, the one Patrick scored in biology, and it will be divided into 2. You see that? And the final marker will be shown. So this is suitable for schools that did not write activities of integration. Good. That is about report card versions. Now let's go and see another settings in report cards. Custom teachers initials. At times, there are teachers who teach more than one subject. For example, you find 3 teachers teaching chemistry, and on report card you want to show teacher X for that subject. So you need to come here and say subject chemistry senior 2. I want to show teacher knowledge 1. So a list of teachers will come if there are more than 1 teachers. So that teacher knowledge 1 will be shown for that class and subject as initial. Grading system, you may choose your own grading system. So now we are using default grading system, the system grading, but you may set yours. Let me choose my own grading and I update. Now if I click there, it will bring this edit grading button. If I click there to ask me which level, I say I want to edit O level and I proceed. It will bring the O level grading and then I change it to mine. So I can add row. I type, for example, from somewhere to somewhere, then I set the grade and then it is updated. Just you type in there and it gets updated automatically. If I don't want the grade, I click on delete, and the grade will be deleted. That is with grading. I can also edit a level grading. So but let me use system default. Comments, yes. If you can look at my report card, it's having class teachers comments and edit teachers comments automatically generated. If I don't want them to be generated automatically, I can click on comments and switch them off. And if I want them to be generated automatically, this is another thing to consider. These comments are generated randomly, and you may find a student who has performed poorly getting a good comment. So this is where bind comment comes in. So what does this mean? Bind comment means I set a comment to a certain subject. Then if a student performs better in that subject, he gets a good comment. If he performs poorly, he gets a poor comment that's not good, or that is empowering him to work harder. So senior 1, senior 2, I can bind it on English. So it will look for English, how this student has performed in English. So if a student has performed good in English, then he will get a good comment. If he performs poorly, then a poor comment will be shown. Then paper balance, this is for A level. I can allow it or no, and if not allowed, it will look for average score to give the grade. So we shall see A level report card later. Subjects to include on report card, this is very important. If I click on there, it will show me senior 1 report. If at all there is any other subject I don't want to include on senior 1 report, I can switch it off. For example, I may not want Kiswahili, I may not want ICT, I may not want CRE, so I switch it off. I go to senior 2. If I click on senior 2, senior 3, senior 4, so the subjects I don't want to show on report cards, I switch them off. Show students photos, yes. Should I show students photos in report or no? So that's the option I can use. Show badge watermark. If you look at my report, there is a badge in the background. That's what we mean by badge watermark. If I want to show it, I can change it. Font style, this one can be changed from the settings as we saw last time. Report card title. If you can see this is student report card for term 3 2024. I may change that text to my own. So that's what I put here under report card title, and I update. Good. Hide empty subjects. What does this mean? If you can see some optional subjects, Islam, Swahili, Luganda, these are optional subjects. When there are no scores for these subjects, should we hide them? We don't show them. So that's the option we are talking about here. Hide empty subjects. If set to yes, all of these optional subjects without scores will not be visible on our report card. This will help us to avoid the spaces and gaps in the report. But compulsory subjects cannot be hidden. So that's what we mean by hide. Position or ranking. We can allow positions of students. We can set these students to be ranked. So if I want them to be ranked, to show positions that this one has been first, second, I switch on that. Allow lean numbers. Lean number stands for learner's identification number given by ministry. So if I want them to show, I switch them on. Show dates automatically. If you have been using this system to capture fees, so the date will be shown here if you allow it. Show A level midterm results. If you want the midterm results for A level to be shown in their report card, you switch it on. We shall see A level report card. Now let's go to inter-houses. So inter-houses, this is important if your school supports houses. So you can, if I click on inter-houses, first of all, I click on houses and members. Then it's showing that we don't have any house. So I click on add house. Then let me add sample house. Good. So house patron, let's select one teacher to act as patron. I add house. So this is the house we are having. Sample, number of students is 0. Then if I click on the name, I can see view and add members. If I click there, I can see it will bring a list of students in the school. I switch it on. Patrick is now in that house. So I can save the members as document. Let me go back to houses. Now it is showing that there is one student in that house. Now let's go and proceed. Competition items. For example, if we compete in football, I can put it there. The items into which we compete, and maximum points to be awarded to each house in football is 3. Good. So now that's one of the competition items. I can click on it to edit it. Let's go again and see what we can do. Fixtures. This can help us to show us how these houses can line up, can pray against each other if at all I'm having more than one. So I'm having only one house, that's why there is no fixture here. So points tally. If I want to add points for a certain house, for example, we can see sample houses having 0 points. I can click on house, I select activate football. Maximum points we can give in football are 3. Then I say they have scored 2 points. I action add or deduct, I add, and then I assign. Now good. So you can see sample houses having 2 points, and if I want to save how they have been earning, I will get a document. Let's go back to desktop and see this document. Sample points. Good. Now the document will be like this. Let's see how it looks. Showing my school sample points log term 3. 21st November in football they earned 2 points and they were added. Now they are having a total points of 2. So it will show you how points have been accumulating for this house. Now this is standing table, the table showing how these people are performing. Now let's test and add another house just for testing. I'm going to come house and members. I add another house as new. Let me not add patron and let me add it. So we are having another house. Now if we check on fixtures, I think the fixture will be there just to show us that sample will reverse new in football, since we are having only one item in football. So now if we check on standing table, it is sample house at the top because it's having 2 points in football. 4 stands for football. Here they are showing us. Good. So we can save the standings, and now it's showing us the rankings. Documents, this is very important also. It will show us the class lists. I want class list for senior 2. I can print it, I can export it as PDF and so on. Under documents also, I will get the general mark sheet for activities of integration senior 2. This will show me each and every subject and the scores that they have entered for each and every subject. So documents again, I'm having examination mark sheet. This is very important when we are writing exam, so we can print out this form, we take it to examination room, and the students should sign here to show that they have attended. And after signing, this sheet should be attached to scripts, the papers, and when a teacher marks, the scores will be put here and the sheet will be submitted back to the admin to enter those scores. Good. Now let's go back to documents. How we can get a list of day scholars only, a list of boarders, we can get parents contacts, a list of parents contacts. Good. Now contact developer. In case there is any issue, you can contact the developer. This is the contact. Let's do a database. In case you want to bring back your information that you backed up from here, you simply click on restore, you choose that file, and then you click on restore. Everything will come back. Now license info, this system, now mine license is here and it is remaining with 16 days to expire. If I want to update it, I can click on update license to get to put a new license and extend my period. Alright, that is all. Start tour. This will guide you through all features we have seen, and that's all we have seen for admin. Now let's go and test teacher. Let me click on teacher. I copy the ID. I'm going to log in as teacher now. Let me log out, and then I'll go back to this screen. Now I'm going to enter teacher's ID to log in. So this time around I won't enter phone number. Let me use teacher's ID to sign in. So if I sign in, this is what I will see as a teacher. This is teacher's dashboard. So it's showing me that I'm having 2 subjects, biology and chemistry. This is my ID and name. This is term I'm working in. There are 2 students in the portal. Now this is showing students offering my subject. In senior 3 there is 1, in senior 2 there is 1. So the subjects I'm having, biology. Now let's see what a teacher can do. Now it is showing senior 1 biology. There is no student. and the remaining student, the scores I have not uploaded. This one shows the scores I have not uploaded. If you see the background is green, it means all scores have been uploaded. There is no demand, there is no need for uploading more scores. Now for senior 1, there is remaining 0. It means I cannot upload any scores since there is 0 student. In senior 2, there is 1 student in biology, and I have submitted that score. It has been submitted within the admin portal, as you have seen. Now it's showing that is remaining 0. In senior 3 biology, there is 1 student, but we have not submitted the end of activities of integration, AOI. So this means you can see here we are in AOI. This means there is 1 student remaining. I have not submitted the scores for that student. That's why it is not green. Senior 4 biology, there is 0. Now let's switch from end activities to end of term. If I switch to end of term, still the same. I have not submitted that senior 3 biology. Let's go and submit it. If I click on score entry, end of term, it will only show me the subjects I teach. So I want to submit biology, senior 3. I proceed. Then let me give him 45. Now if I go back to dashboard, you can see that senior 3 biology, end of term, we have submitted end of term. It is now green. So if I choose activity, it is showing I have not submitted. So I need to go back to score entry and submit. Now let's see for chemistry. I can change the subject. This is how chemistry is. You see, biology, chemistry, and so that is it. That is a teacher. Our teacher sees the system. Documents, teacher can see mark lists. Students, teacher can view or add the students, but he cannot see more details. She can only add, but she cannot see more details or edit them. So if I want to log out, I log out. So thank you for watching. That's all about offline system management system, school management system. If you want your own, you can order it from us. Please check in this video description to get details of the developer, who is me, and then we tailor a school management system for you that will suit your needs. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Patrick. See you soon.